Canva can help you improve your YouTube thumbnails, and I'll walk you through it step by step. We're going into Canva right now. I saw this thumbnail and asked Crop Gardener for a template. It's the perfect example to show you the exact approach that I use. Before I change anything, I'm actually going to duplicate, Control D, or you can click the three dots, duplicate page. If you're not in a thumbnail view, by the way, you can always click pages and it will change the view that you're looking at. We're also going to remove the words from now because I only want to focus on the image first, and then we can come back to the words later. If I click on this and go to edit and then adjust, he changed the brightness, contrast, highlights, took out some whites, added vibrance, added saturation. He's doing all of the right things, but it still feels like because there's a fireplace, warmth needs to be added. And you can do that in the Adjust tab, but I want to do it with the Texture feature. Click on the image, go to Edit. Under Apps, there's one called Texture, and use this light texture, specifically the rainbow blur. You're thinking, that looks terrible. You're right, it does. We're going to switch blend mode from the default to overlay. And I know you're still thinking it looks terrible, but trust the process. And this is a great time to remind you that not all textures are created equal. It works fantastic for this specific thumbnail, but it may not work. It won't work for all thumbnails. We're going to change the scale to 2. The rotation is going to be at 20. Watch how the rainbow moves. And because we don't need this to be super obvious, we're going to change the opacity, how much of this rainbow light you can feel, to 0.5. Make sure to click Save, otherwise it won't actually change anything. Another reminder, this is a Canva Pro feature, but you can always find some textures that you like in the Elements tab if you're on the free plan. Me personally, the texture feature just makes it easier instead of having to go through a bunch of different elements to find the right one. Click on Edit, and again, click on Adjust. I want to see what Canva does with this now. Auto Adjust. I'm just going to go and manually change some things. The first thing is, I think I'm going to turn that to 0 for now. For each of these selections, I will just attempt to move the sliders to the left and to the right just to see what it will look like. I do wind up changing most of these numbers later, and I will show you the exact numbers after I work on the subject. Now let's look at the difference. We will come back to this background in a little bit. I don't want any of this texture actually applied to the subject of this thumbnail. I'm going to take this first template here, Control C, and then go to the second one and Control V. Now it's time to get rid of that background, but we're not going to click Background Remover. Oh no, it's not going to get everything we want. Go to Edit. We're going to select this and it's click, so we're going to go into click mode, and we can select bits of the subject that we want. So now we have the ash and we have the person, and select Magic Grab. I use Magic Grab in this manner all the time. I'm going to click on the backgrounds and delete it. Once he's separated, we're going to adjust the size. I'm trying to adjust the size in a manner that covers up the original image. Basically, you want it to feel a little more natural in the space. I'm going to get rid of the microphone. There's no need to have that. So click Eraser, magic eraser. I'm just going to decrease the brush size. Actually, I'm going to do an auto detect as well. This is great because it's going to pick up exactly what I want to get rid of. And now erase. It's as if he wasn't wearing a microphone at all. We're going to click on the subject again, edit, and auto adjust this. I may do a few manual adjustments here, but the ash, that's a really big focal point and it doesn't look fantastic. Do a little more click mode. Now in this case, it actually does not have the auto adjust function because we're working on one little piece. When we left click, the purple will go away so that we can see it. I'm going to increase the temperature here. I'm just playing around to see how it looks the best. Again, I'm making some adjustments now, but I will dial this in a little bit and I will show you those exact numbers shortly. We need to add a little shadow to give it depth. We're going to do a drop shadow. I don't think that it actually needs to be adjusted in size, but sometimes it does. I think that's perfect. And now it's time to go back to the background. We are going to erase anything that detracts from the image. Click on erase, magic eraser, and I actually think I am going to just get rid of this part of the subject's arm. And then I'm going to look and see if it looks, yeah, that's going to be fine. Then I know for sure there's not a duplicate arm like messing anything up. You don't always need to remove things like that. That's just something I wanted to do. We are going to give this a slight blur. That is going to really enhance that. Blur. Switch this to whole image. And I like to start off with 20 just to check to see what's happening and click out of it. That's pretty good, but I'm wondering if it could use a little more. So I'm just going to go with 23, but sometimes you can use a little more. Sometimes you can use a little less. It just depends on the overall look. It keeps the focus on what you want people to look at. While I wasn't recording, I did make a couple adjustments. The first adjustment I made was to the background. Under edit, under adjust, I just changed a few of these that didn't quite feel right. Brightness is 10, the contrast is -11, the highlights is 28, shadow is 11, whites is -9, black is at 1, vibrance 45, saturation 11, sharpness and vignette are at 0, but clarity is at 12. For the ash, I made some adjustments there too. Temperature, I changed to 55, tint is at 1, brightness is -19, contrast is -35, highlights is at -24, shadow -20, whites -20, black I bumped up to 38, vibrance is -18, saturation is -19, sharpness 29, clarity is at 11, there's no vignette. And now that the image feels right, I'll start working on the words. We're going to click this, shift, and click this. I want it exactly in the same position. Control C, and then I'm going to go here and Control V. Red does not improve readability, so we're going to change to red. But first, I want to show you something that you may not know. The word is what's called center aligned here. The other thing is garden is smaller than gold. They need to be the same size, typically. So click on garden, align to the left. We can bring that out. We're going to do the same thing here. Align to the left and bring this over. It can make a difference when you're designing. We're going to focus on contrast. We're going to change this garden to white. And we're going to do the same thing here. And I'm going to go to effects and change it from white. Let's just use black. And increase the thickness. To get this the same exact thing, we're going to use this paint roller right here and click that, and then go to gold and click that. Now they are the exact same size and have the same effect on them. We are going to make the outline effect 115 and copy style and change the garden one also to 115. Do you see the difference? I have a short video on what fonts to use to increase readability, but for now, even though this one is actually a very great font, I do recommend it, I am going to change it. We're going to click on font and type in the word enter. Enter with an I. And I'm going to click the arrow and just check and see what extra bold or black. Ooh, that looks really nice. Bold. I think I like this one that's black. Black is the most bold font you can get. I'm going to use that little roller trick again, copy style, and boom. I'm just going to make an adjustment so that this is touching garden. Having your words the same size really helps readability. I'm actually going to get rid of the extra punctuation at the end. There's a little trick when thumbnails where you direct the eye exactly where you want it to go. In this case, we really want the eye to go to the ash. So we're going to use an arrow. Let's go to elements. The best phrase is like curved arrow pointing left, or you could point right or whatever. I do have this one that I like to use, green curved arrow pointing left. We're going to click on that, size it down a little bit, move it over here. It's not pointing the right way. I know. We're going to flip it horizontally, and then we're going to flip it vertically. These little funny things will allow us to rotate it and move it over here. If for some reason the arrow wounds up on top of the words, all you need to do is click position and go to the layers tab, and you can see where the arrow lines up. But for this, I think this is great. You might want to change the color of the arrow, but to make it as simple as possible, we're just going to use this. You can shrink this down. Oh, garden gold. There's an arrow pointing at something. You really can't tell what it is at that size, but I think this is great. Before, after. How did I do? I break down what makes for a great font in the video that's on your screen. Your creator bestie out, and I'll see you in the next video.